Can't Foster, Chapter 3. Written by Mildly Famous. Art by Yoofi. Voices, Catielou, Psycoboy, and Mildly Famous. Hey David, you excited for your new foster home? A girl, Jackie, poked her head into the doorframe.
Sure am. Finally, a real family to take care of me. No offense.
Don't worry about it. I'm just too great to live in a foster home.
You've lived in like 15 homes, right? What's it like?
Well, it depends on the fosterers. She thinks for a minute.
You think they'll have pogs?
Asked David. They'll definitely have pogs. She steps inside his small room, then sits on the bed. So, when are you gonna get out? She says, posing as if they were in prison. David chuckles and then sits next to her, putting his hands on his knees.
First, I'ma head out to the woods.
The woods? Jackie interrupts. We can do that now.
You didn't let me finish. I'm going to go to the woods at night.
Ooh, spooky. Then what? Live with the trees? She teases.
Hopefully.
Jackie takes a minute to look around the room, filled with clothes and other things of David's. Wow, you got a lot of packing to do, she says, sitting up.
Yeah, I guess I better get to it.
Well, I'll leave you the pack, she says, standing in the doorframe. Later, dude. She walks out of view, leaving with her hand in a peace sign. David is left to pack by himself, his mind filled with positive expectation, loving parents like he had before. He couldn't wait. That car. The same car that came when all this started. That car that drove him to therapy every week. And the car that is going to bring him to his new life. He walks outside, goodbyes to all the people he's lived with and friends he's made. Only a few feet from the car, he looks it up and down, then turns toward the old, run-down, and now friendly house and does the same. Climbing into the car, he already misses them and replays all the memories in his head during the ride. The car starts, and off they go to someplace new, someplace David expected to be safe. After a few hours of driving, things started to get familiar. The trees combined into one, just as it happened months ago. A small but nice house stood alone in a neighborhood, somehow. There stood on the porch a man and a woman. The man was tall and beefy. The woman was keen, but looks as if she would easily beat anyone in a fight. She was wearing some sort of religious outfit. David steps out of the car, holding some stuffed animals and blankets.
Hi, nice to meet you, David says politely to them.
Hello. I'm Mr. Iyer, and my wife, Mrs. Iyer,
says the man. All right, Mr. Iyer, Mrs. Iyer, where can I put my things?
Just get all your stuff out of the car.
David goes to get his things, and once all is out, the driver rides away, leaving David with his new life. He puts all of his belongings on the grass and looks back at Mrs. and Mr. Iyer for directions. Next thing he knows, Mrs. Iyer is going through all his things and taking out anything of value.
What are you?
David starts to say, before being grabbed by Mr. Iyer, taken back roughly and pushed inside. Once inside, Mr. Iyer grabs David's arms and drags him to a door.
Wait, stop! That hurts!
David whines, trying to push away.
Mr. Iyer?
He turns suddenly, both hands on David's shoulders.
From now on, until I tell you otherwise, you call me sir, and that's my wife, you call her miss. Now.
He pushes David into a small room.
This is yours. Keep it clean.
The door shut violently behind David, just spewing into his face, followed by a quiet click. The room was small and cramped, with a small, rugged bed in the corner, and a dresser with the drawers missing. And to finish, one lone window in the back with a small shelf underneath. David travels to the window, trying to get some fresh air, but it doesn't open. He moves to the bed and sits. It's hard, like wood. No, like concrete. A click sound towards the door and opens.
Here's your crap.
The woman, Miss, says, throwing David's things on the ground. She starts to close the door when she glances at David.
Look, kid.
She closes the door and sits on the bed next to David.
It's scary, but you gotta toughen up. Not be so cheerful. The world's a gnarly place. It's whack. You gotta be strong.
David looks at her, a puzzled look on his face.
If one of us hurts you, it's normal at this age. We're trying to toughen you up for the real world.
She gets up.
Just don't make people mad, and do what we say.
She leaves. The door clicks once again. David looks at the floor where his things, well, most of his things lie. All things like paintings and collectibles are gone. So are most of the stuffed animals. He hops down from the bed and starts setting all his stuff up. A picture of his old parents and another of his friends he met at the group home sit comfortably on the dresser. Grabbing his warm blanket and fluffy pillow, David makes that uncomfortable bed a dream, more or less. He folded and places his clothes in the dresser, put the stuffed animals on his bed and other pictures on that shelf under the window. Standing by the door, he admired his work. The dusty floor and rotting walls still bothered him, though there's nothing he could do. Standing in front of the door, he admired his work. The dusty floor and rotting walls still bothered him, though there was nothing he could do to make it more livable. He expected something to happen, but nothing did. For hours. All night he just stood there, sat on his bed, looking out the window. Nothing happened. When the sun finally went down, he laid in his warm, semi-comfortable bed, but didn't sleep. His thoughts kept him up. Soon, thoughts turned into worries, worries turned into words, until he was talking to himself, as if this small, cramped room was making him crazy. It hasn't even been a day. He already knows this room so well, as if there was nothing outside, as if everything else stopped, as if he was stuck. Thank you so much for Psychoboy and Catielou for lending their voices in this. Also a big thanks to Yoofi, whose art has been the cover for the last few chapters and will continue to be. His links, Psychoboy and Catielou, will all be in the description below. I should probably get an outro. Goodbye.